Welcome to Penny for Your Shots, conversations and cocktails with brilliant women. I'm your host, Penny Fitzgerald, and I believe the best stories are the ones shared over a glass of wine or a cocktail. Each week, I sit down with women who've said yes to building something meaningful, often after years of putting everyone else first. We talk business, big dreams, and the mess in between. And of course, a few favorite drinks. So grab a glass, get comfy, and let's pour ourselves into Penny for Your Shots. Today I'm chatting with Simone Knego about confidence, leadership, and the stories we tell ourselves that quietly keep us playing small. She shares her Real Confidence method, REAL, and a simple mindset reset you can use the next time that little voice in your head starts whispering, "Who do you think you are?" We talk about kitchen table leadership, dropping the word just, and why confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. And stay all the way to the end because we discover a very fun little plot twist. We both live in Sarasota. So yes, a real-life wine date may or may not be happening. Just kidding. You know it's going to happen. Here is Simone Knego. I am so curious about who you are and what you do. Would you mind giving us your name and a little bit about you?
Absolutely. Simone Knego, and I am a keynote speaker, author, coach, and podcast host.
Nice. What's the name of your podcast?
So I co-host with my 22-year-old daughter. It's called Her Unshakable Confidence. My whole brand is about helping women build confidence from the inside out. And so we started this podcast about 2 years ago, and it's really been a blast.
That's exciting. Whose idea was it to start the podcast?
Probably mine. Yeah. I mean, we have like these really fun conversations. And at one
Yeah.
point we said, why don't we start recording them? And so first we started with Instagram Live, and then we said let's make it official. And so
Uh-huh.
we ended up making it a full blown podcast, and it's
Nice.
done well. So we're gonna keep going.
That's exciting.
And she's in law school, so
Oh,
it's hard. We have to work around her schedule a little bit,
yeah.
but we
Yeah.
make it happen.
So what topics do you cover and how do
So
you approach it?
so there's two really main topics I talk about: women's leadership, redefining leadership, because I believe in kitchen table leadership, the idea that we don't need a title, we don't need the boardroom, not the corner office. It's the things we do every single day, the behind the scenes, the messy moments, and so much of that starts around the kitchen table. Hence, kitchen table leadership. So that is one thing I talk about, and the second thing is probably my bigger focus, which is confidence. So, real confidence. And I have a book actually coming out in February called Real Confidence, a simple guide to go from unsure to unshakable. And it's all based on my real method, which is respect yourself, embrace your failures, ask yourself what you want, and live without limits.
Oh, that's great. That helps simplify it a bit. And the kitchen table reference, don't you feel that women, we don't give ourselves enough credit?
Oh
I
my
mean, we've
gosh.
been, yeah, preaching to the
Mm,
choir, right? Yeah, we've been leading a household. We've been doing all the things, keeping everything organized. These are all skills that are used in boardrooms as well. you know?
absolutely. Absolutely. And, that was me for the longest time, thinking that I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't enough, right? I wasn't doing the things in the
Right.
world to really make a difference. And it's like, I have 6 children. So right there, that should be enough. But
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't have that mindset of, I thought, oh, everybody else is really confident or everybody else really
Mm.
has it together. And it's not true at all. We all struggle. We all have to work on our confidence. Confidence is a skill and we need to build it. It's not something that you're born with or you're not. It's like any other
Mhm.
skill, right? You don't go to the gym one day and all of a sudden become buff. You don't go you don't take one Spanish lesson and all of a sudden become fluent, right? Those are, you
Mhm.
have to work on things. And same thing with our mindset. We have to work on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a little bit different, I think, for women too, because we have seen all the images. We've grown up with the Disney princesses and
Mm,
done all of the,
yes.
all the messaging that we get from little on is not really that, oh, you're born for the boardroom or you're
Mm,
destined to do all of these things in leadership roles. And, we are in leadership roles. We just don't realize it.
yeah. nobody's ever called it leadership, so we've never thought about it like that, which
Mm-hmm.
it's leadership, ladies. Like everything that you're doing every single day, those are leadership decisions, right? If you stop making those decisions, the world would stop, actually. Like things would not happen if you stopped making decisions. So that's why we need to focus on the fact that it is leadership.
That's so true. Yeah, everybody has a mother.
Mm, it is so true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We are necessary.
So tell us a little bit more about your method, your methodology, your real system.
Yeah. So I started with respect yourself because, first of all, I love the word real, but also
Mhm.
because as a child, I remember being taught to respect my elders, my peers, but never once do I remember being taught that the most important person to respect was myself, right?
Wow.
The
Uh-huh.
idea of setting boundaries, being able to say no without feeling guilty, taking care of yourself, all of these things are really built on self respect. But we're so focused on, oh, you have to be good to that person. No, you have to be good to yourself too. And
Hmm.
we just don't talk about it like that. And so that's where the self respect piece started. Then embrace your failures because I used to look at failures as a stop sign, right? Like, oh my gosh,
Mm.
if you failed, therefore you're a failure. And it doesn't work that way, right? Failing at something is a moment in time. And it really is about what did you learn from it instead of, oh gosh, I'll never move forward again. And if you look at some of the most successful people out there, depending on how you define success, but you they've failed many, many times. And the difference is they get back up again. They say, what did I learn from that? Okay, what could I do differently? And let me keep going instead of worrying about what everybody else is thinking.
It's
I think,
just data, right?
yeah, it
It's an
is.
act. It's not you. It's not a statement on you.
Yeah. And, but we so often see it as that, oh, we're a failure.
I'm a failure
Yeah.
instead of that particular one
Yeah.
thing that just happened.
Yeah. I mean, that just didn't work.
Right.
End of story. And, but we're so hard on ourselves, like we started off
Right.
with, that we just don't see it that way.
Yeah.
Then the next part, ask yourself what you want. I think, especially for women, this is a very hard one. We've done so much for everyone else for so long that a lot of us have lost
We
ourselves, right?
forget.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What did we want way back then, right? When I was
Hmm.
a kid, I wanted to be an actress. And okay, now they say actor, but I didn't do it. I actually I was going to be a doctor like my parents. I took organic chemistry. I failed it. I took it again, got a D, and that was basically the end of medical school for me. Didn't even get through the door. And I went into accounting because my dad was like, you're really good at math. You're not going to make money as an actor. Go into accounting.
Oh,
And so I did
geez.
accounting and I lasted for a very short period of time
Uh-huh.
because I did not love it. And I changed my mind many, many times until I really sat back and said, what do you want? Like, what do you like? Obviously, I love raising my kids, but there was more. For me, I wanted more. And what I realized is that I love storytelling. And so
Mm.
being able to write, being able to get up on stage, having a podcast, it's almost like being an actress, right? So, like bringing it
Mm-hmm.
back to that. And but so often women will be like, oh, I have no idea what I want. And because we are doing so much for everyone else. So it's time to take a step back and say that kid that wanted to be an actor or an astronaut or whatever, that kid is still in you, right? So
Yeah.
take a step back and say, okay, what are the things I'm good at? What are the things that I would really like to do? I don't mean go quit your job tomorrow. I mean, figure out the things that you really enjoy and start implementing them in your life. I mean, there's lots of volunteer roles you can do, any kind of self care, any kind of sports and, you know, art. Like there's so many
Yeah.
things that we could be doing.
Yeah. Dip your toe back into some of those things that used to bring you joy that maybe you've just put on the back burner because you've been putting one foot in front of the other,
Mm,
raising your family, doing all the things.
yeah. And then the last part is live without limits. We limit ourselves from the second we wake up until the second we go to bed. And I used to, the way I would describe myself when there was a period of time where I was a stay-at-home mom, I would say, "Oh, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I'm just a
Mm.
volunteer.
Oh,
I'm just Rob's wife," really justifying my existence. And it's interesting, the more I listen to other women, the more I'm really focused on that word. I hear it all the time. And
Yeah.
drop the just, right? Just
Mm.
drop the just
Yes,
because
please.
let's own who we are instead of focusing on what everybody else is doing.
Right. Right. And it's valuable. We've got to quit. We've got to start owning up to our brilliance.
Mm,
There is brilliance. When we talk about our girlfriends, we talk how beautiful, how amazing, how inspiring, how strong, how supportive, how brilliant they are. But when we talk to ourselves, it's so not that. We cut ourselves down.
hmm
We would never allow someone to cut our girlfriend down. So
Yeah.
why do we allow it for us?
Talk to yourself like you would your best friend, right? I mean,
Yes.
there are, and I mean, was very guilty of this. And even to the point where one day my daughter, who I have the podcast with now, when she was 13 or 15 in that age range, she walked in and I was just being mean to myself in the mirror. I was getting ready for an event,
Oh,
wasn't fitting into my clothes, just really saying mean things to myself. And she walked in, she said, "First of all, you're beautiful. Second of all, you need to stop. You're giving me a complex. How do you
oh,
expect me to love my body when you don't even like your own?" And
wow.
that was such a wake up moment because I didn't realize how much it was impacting other people. I don't even think I
Mm-hmm.
realized how much it was impacting myself, right? We just were
Right.
so used to saying negative things to ourselves all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just a big eye opening moment for me to say, what am I doing? Because it is affecting the people around me. And that actually goes back to the self respect piece. Like you hear a lot of times people say, "Oh, I'm going to demand respect," right? I'm going to demand respect.
Mm,
Well, it's about demonstrating it because you need to demonstrate it to yourself so that people understand how to treat you, right? That you're not going to be run over, that you're not going to do everybody else's work because they just don't feel like it. And so that idea of being in control of that situation by, setting those boundaries and
mm-hmm.
not treating ourselves. We need to treat ourselves like we treat our best friend instead of treating ourselves like our worst enemy, which we probably wouldn't even treat our worst enemy like that.
No, exactly. Yeah. My gosh, I had a thought and now it just went right out of my head. It'll come back. It'll come back. So tell me about your keynotes.
So I typically speak like for my confidence one. I tell us one of the stories I tell is about climbing Kilimanjaro. So in 2015, I climbed Kilimanjaro. That was actually the big turning point in my life in terms of my mindset. So I really struggled with self doubt before that. And I was asked to climb it by a friend. He had climbed it the year before. I am not a climber. So when you hear this, I am not a climber. I live in Florida. I have 16 steps in my house. I've gone camping a few times. This was completely out of my comfort zone, but I really needed that. I needed to get out of my own way. And not that I could have done something different. It didn't have to be climbing a mountain, but that was just kind of the opportunity that presented itself.
Mm,
And I said yes. And it was really life changing for me. So obviously, I talk about that in my confidence keynote because it was such a turning point for me. And really, it was really about changing the way I saw myself
mm,
because I'm a big believer in that we don't need to change who we are. We need to change the way we see ourselves
mm-hmm.
because we're all capable of doing amazing things. We have to want to do them first of all, and then we have to give ourselves credit to say like, "Oh yes, I can do this." So it was funny after I climbed Kilimanjaro, I was speaking to a few women and they said, "Oh, I could never do that." So, well, would you want to? No. I said, "Okay, well then use that word instead." I wouldn't want to instead of
Yeah.
I could never because the more you say negative things about what you're capable of, that's what you believe. That's what your brain
Mm-hmm.
is used to saying. And so it's really about flipping that script. And so that I love telling that story, but also I talk about one of the funny things about that experience was one of my friends suggested that I should uh, get something called a shiwi for me to bring on this trip. Um,
Shiwi?
it's a pee funnel. So
Oh,
basically, so you can pee standing up. And
Oh my God.
it was that was also life changing because it's so cold and you would have to take all your layers off. And I'm like,
Oh my
oh,
God.
I don't have to take all my layers off. So yeah, I joke that like the other women on the trip were jealous of it. One even asked to borrow it, which is true. I was like, no, no, no. I
Oh,
love
so
sharing.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Boundaries, boundaries.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah. But yeah, so I mean my keynotes are really more about inspiration,
Mhm.
motivation, some good humor, and really having women take a deep look and say, "Oh, why am I worried about what anybody else is doing, right? Why am I
Yeah.
comparing myself to the person over there?" And my husband used to say to me, "You're worried about someone else. They're not even thinking about you." Like
Right.
not in a
Right.
negative way, but like we're so caught up in, "Oh my gosh, what will this person think?"
Yeah,
And they're not thinking about us. So,
exactly.
it's reframing that whole piece of saying, what am I worried about here?
Right. Right. And the ones that do give you flack, the trolls,
Yeah.
they're not doing anything and they're jealous of the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
And we knock ourselves down so much for all that stuff, or worry about it for nothing.
Yeah. What I've realized is, and I actually go back to this in terms of when my kids, when there was like a bullying my
Mm-hmm.
kids. And I always told my kids, it's not about you, it's about them. It's something
Yeah.
that they're struggling with. And the same thing, when someone can't see themselves in the accomplishments that you have, that's usually when they become negative. So I've had people when I was climbing Kilimanjaro, do you really think you're going to make it to the top?
Oh,
No, I think I'm going to
oh,
make it halfway. That's why I'm doing it. Thank you for your support, right? And
right.
so, but what I've learned is that so often it's because the other person can't see themselves doing it. So why should you be able to do it?
Mm,
And so you have to look at it that way and just say, this does not affect my life, right? I'm going to
right. Right.
keep going, keep moving forward.
That opinion is none of my business.
Right. Yeah. Nobody's opinion is my business. And,
Right.
and nor
Even
should
my own
I.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And we don't
Yeah.
we don't know what we're capable of because we don't push ourselves,
Mm.
quite often. Unless we try something new like that. Like, this your friend that gave you the suggestion or invited you along. If he hadn't have said that, would you have thought of it as a
No,
thing? Yeah.
no, because it was not a bucket list item. It was,
Right.
I never would have thought about it, actually. I mean, but it was so life changing for me. And I think that too is that, yeah, inviting someone along, telling somebody something
Mm,
new and believing in them.
yeah.
Sometimes people need to borrow your belief, right?
Oh,
So,
for sure. Yeah.
and I think that is also so important. But yeah, it's always interesting when you hear other people's reactions to things. And, when, so we have 6 kids, and
Mhm.
the idea of, I think that I wanted one. My husband wanted a big family. And then once we had one, my husband said, I think we're good. Like, this is a lot of work.
Oh.
And then I said, oh, we're going to keep going. Um, but we adopted our youngest three, and a lot of people couldn't understand that either because they would say, well, you can have more biological children. Why would you choose this? And again, they couldn't see themselves in this situation. And so that's what I always say to the kids too, like, don't worry about what anybody else is thinking. If they're thinking about you, it still doesn't matter.
Yeah. That's such a personal decision too. And to ask that question is a
Yeah.
little out of the boundary.
Yeah,
I
for
feel. I
sure.
mean,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was kind of surprised. And it didn't just happen once, it was multiple times where
oh
people were
wow.
like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. And actually, one of our
Wow.
friends that said that, she, when we adopted our son Noah from South Korea, we got a picture of him. And of course, my husband was like showing it to everybody. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden she said, I get it. I get it. She goes, I didn't get it before, but I get it. Like, so the picture of Noah was, he's in this like beautiful white gown and he's got a number. And like that was his identification, was the number,
Oh wow.
And so that was kind of eye opening for her. And I think majority of the people that know us, that they, really changed how they thought about building a family.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and a lot of that is I think out of good intention. Our
Mm,
friends want the best for us, but just because they can't see it for themselves, then they put that on others. They want the best for you, and they think that, well, the best for me is also the best for her. I mean,
yeah.
it's kind of a self-centered and unaware attitude, but it comes from good intentions, I feel like,
Yeah.
most of the time.
Absolutely. And I would say that, that's how I've kind of approached everything when it comes to, especially the younger kids. When someone has a question, I I treat it as like a learning experience for the other person instead of
Mm.
being defensive. Because you sometimes things come out of people's mouths and you're like, did they really just say
What?
that?
Exactly.
And so we've had a lot of weird questions like, I don't understand your family. Or actually, one time I was with my youngest daughter. It was pretty soon after we had brought her home. So she's from Ethiopia, and she was 2.5 when we adopted her. And she was sitting in the cart. We were at the grocery store, and I was at the bakery, and a woman came up and she said, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah, sure." She goes, "How much did you pay for her?" And I was
A
like, "Oof. Okay. Do I
stranger.
like I'm like how do I approach this?" And I said, "You know what? This is a learning experience." I said, "Well, first of all, you don't pay for children, and second of all, can I ask you why you asked that?" And she said, "Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to offend you. I My daughter hasn't been able to get pregnant and she wants to adopt, and I just wanted to see if it's something that I could financially help her with or not." And I gave her a little education on the right way
Oh,
to ask questions like that, so it's not offensive, because it was really offensive. And of course, at the end, she who knows what she did with the information. So I mean, and again, we've had a lot of people ask questions, and so I feel that that's part of my role, is to kind of help people see the world a little differently instead of
hmm.
just being like, "Oh my gosh, why would you ask that?" Right? It's more of like, "Yeah, how can I help you? Like, what do you
Yeah.
need? What do you need?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently that's part of your role.
Mm. Well, I wouldn't have guessed that was it was going to be like that, but
No.
that's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I at one point I was a teacher, so I might as well,
Mm.
use those skills.
There you go. I mean, it's all going back to past experiences and all of the things that you carry with you. They come in handy.
Hmm.
You can use those to help others, to support other humans,
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
even when they don't deserve it.
Yeah. We One of the other things that we did was I when I was teaching, one of my students, who she was really sweet, she stopped coming to school. She was gone for probably 10 days. And so
Mm.
I asked the principal, is there something wrong? Did something happen? She said, "Well, actually, I was going to come talk to you today. We got a call that her parents had been arrested and she's living in a teen shelter." She was 10 years old. And
Oh, no.
so I called my husband, because it was not too long after we had adopted our youngest daughter, and we still had our home study in place. And I said, "What do you think?" And he said, "Yeah, absolutely." And
Mhm.
so they the social worker, went through a few things with us, but basically brought her over to the house with her cardboard box and
Oh,
her whole life inside of her cardboard box. And there was definitely a sigh of relief when she saw me, because she didn't know where they were taking her. They didn't tell her.
oh. And
And
she knew you from school.
yeah, I was her teacher.
You
So,
were, oh, right. Wow.
yeah. And, that was a really hard experience across the board. She was with us for 9 months. Um, you know, she would sleep with the light on at first, always keep her stuff packed, ready to go. Um,
Oh.
you know, bathe in a bathing suit, like things that you just wouldn't think about. It was such an interesting, we look to other places to think, oh, like that kind of stuff doesn't happen here. Well, it happens in our own backyard every single day. There are tons of kids on free and reduced lunch, tons of kids that really struggle, but a lot of times we don't recognize it. And
Hmm.
and then for my kids to see that, I think that was a really big growth opportunity to, say, okay, how can we help with other things? We don't need to
Mm.
be so focused on ourselves.
Yeah. Boy, the behaviors she showed, she'd been through some things.
Oh, she had been through some things.
How old would she be
Mm,
now?
she is probably 22 now. Yeah, I still like we're Facebook friends.
Okay. You
But
know that she's
yeah,
okay
she's
and
okay. Yeah, she looks beautiful and all grown up, and
oh,
I mean, I don't know what happened in between here and there. I did when it was time for her to go, I just gave her the talk about the value that she has, and
oh good.
really protecting herself from things, and it, who knows what happened with it, but you can only do your best, right?
Yeah. Things she may not have ever heard before.
Probably not.
Wow. Um, so what did you teach? What did you,
Uh,
was it little or
yeah, fourth grade.
fourth
Fourth
grade?
grade.
Okay.
Yeah, fourth
Oh,
grade.
wow. 9 and 10-year-olds.
Yeah. Um, and they were all super cute. The hard part was that because I had 6 kids, I tended to spend more on babysitting than I was actually making. And I was like, okay, this is not working out so well financially.
Yeah.
So, and then again, I changed my mind multiple times of the things I wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm here where I am now because this is what I love to do.
Well, and it's a good thing. It leads us to our true path. But
Mm.
at the same time, I'm thinking, wow, I would really love it if we paid our teachers what they're worth.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how that change will ever happen, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's so true. We look at other professions, and, there's so much that happens in teaching. I mean, it's the whole trajectory of your child's life
Mm-hmm.
is so much of it is formed by the teachers that they have.
Yep.
And, you know, they deserve a bit more.
Yeah. As many hours as they spend a day in school and, all of the things that you're teaching them, not
Yeah.
just the academics, but the
Life
life
skills.
lessons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so true. It's really unbelievable. But, you
Mhm.
know,
I really admire teachers. I have several in my family and just
mm.
really appreciate all the work that you guys do along, caring for our kids.
Yeah, I would say that for me with my kids, it was such a huge thing. I would always go in and say, when you have your teacher conferences and you hear a lot of parents that would be like, my child is perfect. I don't know why they did bad on this test and blah blah blah. And I would go in and say, I'm apologizing ahead of time. This probably won't be your easiest year. I said, but anytime you need anything, call me. And now they're all grown up, so I'm almost an empty nester. Last one is a senior in high school, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy to think that it's been 30 years of having kids in the house straight, and then nobody will be here next year.
That
I,
is a big transition. Yeah.
yeah, and I think that's really why I started working earlier, because I really wanted to have something once
Mm-hmm.
they were gone. I didn't want to have that feeling. I have a lot of friends that they're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with my life now," right?
Uh-huh.
This is what I've done for so long. And so I would say that to them. I'm like, "Okay, you might be frustrated that I'm not home right now, that I'm traveling or I'm working, but eventually you are going to be completely out of the house, and I need something for myself too. And that's not selfish."
No, no, we have to be well-rounded individuals.
Yeah.
And the more we take care of ourselves, the more we can take care of others too.
And the more our kids see how important self-care is, right?
Exactly. We want that for them. We want them to feel like a whole
Hmm.
individual, like a really, well-adjusted, happy human.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. And I think that showing your kids self-care is so important. I even going back to Kilimanjaro, I remember doing a podcast with a woman after I got back from Kilimanjaro, and she said, don't you think it's really selfish that you took that much time away from your family to climb a mountain? And I said, not at
Oh,
all.
wow.
Self-care is never selfish. I said, and what a better example, like what a great example for my kids to see, not like talking myself up, but that when you set a goal and you put in the work that you can accomplish it. And
Mhm.
they were super proud of it. They weren't like, "Oh my gosh, mom's gone this week." But one of the
Climbing a
funniest things,
mountain
yeah,
again.
climbing a mountain. One of the funniest things that happened was how much credit my husband got, which we've been married for 32 years, and I give him a lot of credit. Like, he's put up with me for 32 years. But when I told people, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," they're like, "Oh my gosh, your husband is so amazing. He's gonna stay home with your kids." And
What?
And I was like, they're his kids too, right? Like,
Oh, I don't get that attitude.
and nobody ever says that to me on a, oh my gosh, you're so amazing. You do all these things for your kids. He does. He absolutely says those things. But,
Uh-huh.
other people don't ever come up to me and say, oh my gosh, your husband is so lucky that you do all these things all the time. No, they don't do that.
Yeah. Yep.
It's
Yeah, I
funny.
hear that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're so lucky that my husband cooks and does, a lot of
Hmm.
things. I'm like, yeah, I am lucky, and so is he.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I would say with my husband, he still, so he's a surgeon, and when he comes home, he always does the dishes. Like I cook, he does the dishes. That's just been, you know, obviously when we had more kids at home, then everybody else would contribute too.
Pitch
Now our
in.
daughter,
Uh-huh.
like she works a lot, so she's not home a lot at night. But it's so funny because if I would tell my other friends that, wait, he'll do the dishes too. I'm like, yeah, he actually just gets up and does them. Like I don't even, I'm not going to say, oh, I'll do it. He's already doing
Uh-huh.
them, right? I was
Yeah.
maybe because I'm like messier than he is that he does it. He's like, oh, let me just do it and get it over with, get it away from her. I don't know, but I appreciate it.
Yes, for sure. Me too. But yeah, it's not over and above and be well, for some families I guess it is, but
Yeah.
but it's just, you split the duties, you split the things that have to be done, and you're a team. So why wouldn't it be normal for everyone to pitch in?
Yeah. I was at this event this morning and this woman said, oh, because it was supposed to be an evening event and they moved it to the morning. She said, oh, I think it's so much better that it's in the morning because then I don't hear, I think our husbands like us to be home and they, if it's during the day, it's fine. But at night, they're like, well, why am I not invited too? And I was like, no, my
What?
husband does not care about that. I
Wow.
know. I thought that was kind of a weird one too. But,
Yeah.
again, mindset.
Right.
Mindset is so
Right.
important.
Everybody gets stuck in their ways and they do things the way they want and they think that's the way everybody else is.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Oy. Thank God we're not.
I know. No, I like doing my thing. I'm like, I'm happy with all of the different things that I do. Not that life isn't challenging. I mean, it's challenging for everybody,
Of
right?
course.
But
Hmm.
sometimes we think of things that and make them worse. I was just
Companionship.
weird the
I don't
way
know.
she said it. I know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. Oh, so what have I not asked you that you would love to share with my people?
mm. Oh, I'll give you a little. So, talking about mindset,
Yeah.
a little hack that I use when I'm struggling. So,
Yes.
we all have that voice in our head that tells us that we can't or that we're not good enough. I call it the what if whisperer, and I've named her Sally Fine, because she's freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. That's what Fine stands for. And but when I have those thoughts that come to my head, like, oh my gosh, you're not going to be able to do this, you're not capable of this. Um, my little hack is Control Alt Delete. So just like the computer, our minds freeze too. So actually, now if you use Control Alt Delete, it brings up Task Manager. It is no longer like the reset for a frozen computer. As my kids say, just push the on button, turn it off, turn it up back on again. It'll be
Hard
fine.
reboot.
Yes, exactly. Um, but so control is all about awareness. So it's not that we can control the thoughts that come into our head, but we can control what we do with them, right? So you
Right.
have to ask yourself, is this helpful? Is this real? Most of the time, the answer is no. Alt is alternative. Tell yourself a better story. Instead of I can't, I can. Instead of what if I fail? How about when I succeed? And then finally, delete. Delete the habits and beliefs that don't serve you. Delete the comparison game. Delete the belief that you're not enough. Delete the apology. Right? We
Mm.
over apologize for so many things, and I feel like anytime I'm struggling with something, if I remember that, I'm like, okay, this isn't real, right? Okay, what can I tell myself? Because again, our thoughts really become our reality. The way we talk to
For
ourselves
sure.
is what
Hmm.
it's how we move forward. And that's why you see professional athletes who, there's a whole psychology of how they talk to themselves, right? And the whole positive affirmation piece. And you
Hmm.
would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have said, okay, that's woo woo, that doesn't work. But now that I understand the science and the research behind it, it really does work. I mean, if we
Hmm.
can tell ourselves, negative things all day long and believe it, why can't we tell ourselves positive things and
Right.
believe them, right?
Right.
It's just changing the way we see things.
Yep. Our mind doesn't know the difference between the imagination and reality.
Mm,
So if we imagine, if we think about the future that we want to have and practice that over and over again in our mind, it becomes reality. Our mind doesn't know the difference.
yeah. Yeah. It's so true. And so tell yourself a better story every single
Right.
day. Tell yourself a better story.
Mm-hmm.
And so, two things I do positive affirmations every morning. I do them throughout the day too. Like, if I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this right now. Yes, you can. Um, but also, evening gratitudes. And I feel like
Mm.
there's always something to be thankful for, even if it's a really crappy day. There's always
Mm-hmm.
something that I can look back on and say, oh, ooh, I'm so thankful for that today. And
Yeah.
that really helps me, go to sleep in a positive way instead of being like, oh, I'm so frustrated.
Right.
That really, really helps me.
That's great. I love waking up and with gratitudes too.
Mm,
Like first thing before I get out of bed, thinking about what I'm grateful for,
mm. Yeah.
just to set the day, set the tone for the day to get it right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that I do it the other way because I'm a horrible sleeper. So I feel like if I say something, what I'm grateful for before I go to bed, that
Yeah.
that actually really helps me.
Yeah. Maybe your dreams are going to be a little bit more positive when you do that.
Yeah. I don't really remember them anymore. I don't know why. I
Yeah.
used to remember my dreams. I don't really remember them anymore.
It depends for me, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah,
Might be
I
red
don't
wine versus white wine.
know. Yeah, I would say the red wine probably affects me. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's maybe why I don't dream.
Okay, so speaking of wine, I'm going to switch gears on you if that's
Yeah,
okay. At the
absolutely.
end of my conversations, I love to bring it around to what's your favorite cocktail or glass of wine?
Mm. So, I would say my favorite is Cabernet. And I am, my husband's trying to get me more into French wines as well.
Oh,
But
nice.
I would say still my favorite is Cabernet. And I like some mixed drinks, but I'd
Uh-huh.
rather have a glass of wine
Yeah.
versus. Plus, maybe it's laziness, like the idea of having to make a cocktail. Someone
It
else
seems
wants
more
to make it for
fancy.
me. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
My husband was really funny. He came home the other day and he made himself a Negroni and he took a sip of it and he was like,
Mm.
he didn't make a good one. And he took a
Oh,
sip and he was like, he goes, I felt so grown up for a second. I'm like, you're 63 years old. He's like, yeah, I felt so grown up for a second. And then I was like, oh, I need to go to a restaurant for this. This is not good. He's like,
oh.
I can do a good job pouring a glass of wine.
Well, we all have our strengths.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Nice. So you like is it a California style cab that you
Yeah,
go to?
California. I'm like a big, bold,
Mm-hmm.
red kind of person. I
Yeah.
have a vineyard in, well, it's outside of Napa. It's called Amazetta. That's probably
Oh,
one of my
nice.
favorite wines.
I
And
haven't encountered that one.
yeah, it's a little small family-owned vineyard that's
Nice.
run by the sons, and yeah, it's beautiful too. If you ever get a chance to visit there, it's
Yeah.
up on a hill, and you're look overlooking I don't know what
Mm.
lake, but it's beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful. That stuff is just, it just takes you to another place.
Yep. Yeah. It's yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So French wines, what are you looking at? Bordeaux's or trying some of those kinds of things to be in the
So
line with cab?
yeah, I mean, the one that I like the best right now is a Chateauneuf de Pop,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that
I
one
love
I
those.
like, and
Uh-huh.
so yeah, he's working on me. So I'm trying, but I think there's just something about the boldness of some of the California wines that I
Yeah.
haven't found as much in the French wines.
Yeah. Rutherford Dust.
Mm.
The Napa Valley, yeah, the
Yeah,
floor, the terroir, it's something,
yeah,
it really
yeah.
does mean something. But yeah, and I think the French have done things so much differently with terroir. It's like it has to be passed down to from generation to generation among the sons,
Mm. Among
not
the
the daughters.
sons, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, depending on the region in France, but it's a completely different concept.
What's your favorite wine?
Depends on the day.
Mm.
I do like a good Chateauneuf de Pop, though.
Yeah.
I love those. I love a good Cab Franc. So like a Loire Valley Red would
Hmm.
be really yummy for me. I love a nice dry Riesling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depends on the day.
Yeah, I guess I should say the same. It depends on the day. But like my go-to would be
Yeah.
a big bold red.
Nice. Yeah. It's good to have something like that. When you walk into a restaurant or a bar, it's like, I know I like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Exactly. And I've never found, actually, recently, my daughter was like, "Why don't you try a dirty martini?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to like it." But I actually like it has to be like a lot of olive juice in there for me to
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. Filthy.
But yeah, really filthy.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so because I've never had like a go-to cocktail, so if
Uh-huh.
I go to a bar and I don't like their wine selection, I'm like, I don't
Oh
know, what am
yeah.
I gonna drink? Like last time I
Hmm.
drank stuff was, in college of mixed drinks. So,
Yeah.
I've expanded my alcohol palate.
For sure. Yeah. We probably started out with something sweet.
Hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, a little fruity. Don't like those anymore.
No, me neither. Oh, I don't
Yeah.
like the way you feel the next day either.
Right. Right. The
Yeah,
sugar
all the
is
sugar,
really, uh-huh. Uh-huh.
the killer.
So what's a fun memory that you've shared with friends or family over a nice cocktail or a glass of
Mm.
wine?
I would say so. We have my best friend from college. We travel with them basically every year in the summer, but for several years we would do trips to Napa. And so it's
Mm.
usually like three couples, sometimes four
Oh,
couples.
fun.
And yeah, it was always so fun. And, it's crazy to think that our kids are grown up now, right? So, I mean, we became friends when we were 20, and
Yeah.
I'm 53 now. So 33 years. And it's always a good time. Like we always have great wine when we're together. And
Mm-hmm.
her husband is a wine snob, and I guess we kind of are now too. I mean, we're like, life is too short for a bad glass of wine.
Oh, amen.
So, yeah, but I think those trips that we've taken have always been fun. And what's really fun, actually, as well, is that now that our kids are getting older, they really are enjoying wines. So, our oldest son, who's 29, he got married last summer in Spain. And so he was,
Oh,
really picking out all
nice.
kinds of different Spanish wines. And one of our last trip to Napa, he and she was his fiance at the time, came with us on that trip. So it was kind of really fun to have that first Napa trip with our oldest
Yeah.
kid, like showing him the ropes.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so great to hang out with your kids that are now adults and see what amazing humans they've become.
Yeah. I mean, that's the goal, is raise amazing humans,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I feel very fortunate, and so far, 6 for 6. They are amazing
That's
humans. Yeah.
amazing right there.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just cool people.
Yeah, neat. Okay, one more question. Where in Florida are you?
Sarasota.
What? I'm in Sarasota.
No way.
I am
Really?
for sure.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, now we need to go have wine.
In person.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We should definitely go have some wine.
I would
Also,
love that.
my book, when it's coming out February
Uh-huh.
17th, I'm going to do a book launch party in Sarasota.
Do you
Perfect.
have a link where it'll be available
Oh, yeah.
on?
It's realconfidencebook.com. What a
Oh,
coincidence.
yeah, I know. How fun is that? I
Yeah.
thought there's no way. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Let's have a glass of wine.
Yeah. I would love that. Yeah. So great meeting you.
Great to meet you. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. You too.
Mhm.
Bye.
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 That's a wrap on this episode of Penny for Your Shots. If you loved today's conversation, don't let the inspiration stop here. Get my weekly insider updates straight to your inbox. It's where I spill behind the scenes goodies, exclusive tips, and all the fun stuff I don't always share on the podcast. Sign up now at pennyforyourshots.com/insider. I'll see you in your inbox next Thirsty Thursday. Cheers!